Welcome to the University of North Texas, a Tier 1 research university. Here, our faculty and students push creative boundaries by tapping into their imaginations to make an impact on the world. We have 39,000 students here on campus who come from 141 different countries across the world, and we believe that this diversity makes us stronger.
We have 77 nationally ranked programs, but what we are most proud of is the quality of our faculty and our staff and the caring way in which they provide support and services to our students.
Whether it's recruiting our largest incoming freshman class in history or helping students gather their caps and gowns for graduation, UNT is here to support the students from the time that they get here until they get ready to graduate.
Thank you for joining us today for the 2019 State of the University. I hope that you'll be inspired by our President Neil Smatras' plans for our future. Go Mean Green!
Last fall, more than 600 million people learned something everyone at the University of North Texas already knew. Never underestimate a UNT Eagle. In a 44-17 win over Arkansas, the UNT Mean Green delivered the week's top play in college football with a fake fair catch, 90-yard punt return touchdown. USA Today called it an incredible display of genius, courage, and trickery. And we can't say we disagree. In fact, courageous genius sounds just like us. For more than a century, UNT students have delivered an incredible display of originality and perseverance. While those few seconds on the football field entertained us all, it was far from the first time UNT has wowed the nation. Our students are dominating global coding challenges, working with NASA to improve technology, taking home top prizes in international engineering competitions, winning Grammys, launching global brands, and initiating research projects that could change the world. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Roy Orbison's hit song Ooby Dooby was said to have been written in 15 minutes on the roof of a UNT fraternity house. The CEO and co-founder of Urban Decay, the second largest makeup brand in the US, Wendy Zomner, earned her journalism degree from UNT before launching the makeup brand that was 20 years ahead of industry trends. Alumna Benji Brooks was the first pediatric surgeon in Texas. Alumnus James Pawelczyk flew aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia in 1998. Columbia Records exec Azim Rashid launched his career in the music industry working for the University Program Council. Journalism alumna Dusty Tucker Jenkins left her senior leadership role at Target to help guide streaming music giant Spotify's direct listing on the New York Stock Exchange. After growing up in a small Texas town, G. Brent Ryan earned 2 degrees from UNT in 1988 and then built a billion-dollar business. He cemented his commitment to the university by giving the largest gift in school history, with big plans for the future of the G. Brent Ryan College of Business. UNT students don't just succeed, they succeed in audacious, one-of-a-kind strokes. What's our secret? We push boundaries every day. We combine creativity and science. We flip perspectives for innovative ways to solve problems. And we create original experiences that deliver extraordinary results, whether that is in cross-disciplinary research or through key partnerships with world-class industry leaders like the Dallas Cowboys, NetDragon, the City of Frisco, and PGA of America. Every year has become a record-breaking year for us, and we don't just mean Guinness World Records, though we have those too. Numbers for annual giving, degrees awarded, students enrolled all keep rising to new heights. Last year, nearly 10,000 students, 1/4 of our student body, earned their diplomas and stepped into the professional world. Named one of America's 100 best college buys for the 23rd year, UNT has 77 academic programs ranked among the nation's top 100 and was reaffirmed as a Tier 1 research university this year. The university also ranks 7th in the education category and 40th overall in the nation as one of America's best employers, according to Forbes. We have no intention of settling for the status quo. UNT is developing an inspired new curriculum in response to industry needs, while our partnership with Frisco leaders will help us grow a unique 100-acre campus that closes the gap between education and high-demand careers. Last fall, we opened the Center for Agile and Adaptive Additive Manufacturing, earning a $10 million boost in funding from the Texas Legislature. UNT has developed one of the most advanced university research facilities in the nation for materials analysis, and this prototype center could globally transform the future of advanced manufacturing. We also celebrated a year of record-setting research expenditures. Meanwhile, the new College of Visual Arts and Design building is one of the most technologically advanced art facilities in the world and will inspire creativity for generations to come. The university also opened our new biomedical engineering building in August. We also believe our students deserve more when it comes to life outside the classroom. We recently opened 2 gorgeous new buildings with the Joe Green Residence Hall and the University Welcome Center. Soon we will open the nation's second allergen-free dining hall, joining an unparalleled array of campus dining offerings that include an award-winning vegan dining hall. Whether it's comic books and video games, science, politics, or art, there is nothing we love more than helping our students embrace their brilliantly unique selves. We will never stop striving to provide the best nest for our Eagle community. From serving fresh organic greens grown in our own hydroponic garden, to building unique living learning communities and creating industry-inspired curricula, UNT delivers a special experience for each student from day one all the way through to graduation day.
Well, welcome and thank you for coming to my 6th annual State of the University address. I can't tell you how pleased I am to be here to share with you the incredible progress that we've made this year. It's really, truly been a record-breaking year. But before I get going, I just want to give a quick shout out to Lisa Rowe, who can't be here but is watching my streaming video. Hi, Lisa. As you saw in the video, it's been an incredible year. We set records in everything that we set our minds to do. That's not an accident. That's something that happened because people pulled together and they tried hard to do what we have to do, which is to make our students successful and to make this university successful. So I want to thank all of you because it took our faculty, our staff, our students, our donors, corporate partners, governmental officials, all working together as a team to really help us move the ball forward. And this has been the best team it's ever been my pleasure to work with. So a big round of applause to thank all of you who've worked so hard for us. Now today what I want to do is not only celebrate our many accomplishments, but talk about the plans that we have for moving forward. So it's going to be a little bit different kind of State of the University. We're going to celebrate hard, but for a very short period of time, and then I'm going to move on and talk to you about what we came up with in an intensive year of planning for the next 5 years that can send us further on our trip up to the top of the mountain and university reputation. So let's reiterate a few of our really major events. First, we welcomed 116 faculty this year. This is a record number. It's great. It's about 10% of our total faculty population. They came here because they wanted to be part of a Tier 1 institution, and they wanted to be part of a caring community. And those messages really resonate with people. We raised nearly $75 million in research expenditures this year. That, too, is a record. We brought in over $60 million in gifts and pledges. This is a staggering number. Let's put this in perspective. When I first got here, we were averaging 15 to 17 million a year. Last year at 34 million, we thought we'd died and gone to heaven. This year, we hit 60 million. Now, most of you know why. We received a nice little gift from Brent Ryan, the former chairman of our board, who gave us $30 million to name the G. Brent Ryan College of Business. I know if Marilyn Wiley is in the audience, she's still brimming with joy. While that's great, I want you to kind of reverse that. That means that we raised $30 million of baseline giving without a giant gift from the likes of some of the great donors who are sitting down here with us today. Folks like Dan Smith, the McNatt family, the Newmans. We have a bundle of really good-hearted people who've been contributing to the success of our students and to this university, and we thank you for that. We graduated over 9,600 students, and there's different counting methodologies. I could have said 9,700, but I'm not going to. What I'll tell you is that that's a record number for this university, and we're really proud. We're graduating almost 25% of our students every single year. And the faster we graduate our students, the less debt they have, and the faster they get into the workforce so they can pay that debt off. And some of the best news, our enrollment this year topped 39,320 at last count, which is a phenomenal number given how many students we graduated. This is about 1,200 students more than we had last year. And it was a great problem to have because we raised our freshman enrollment year over year 15%. That's a stunning number. We welcomed the largest ever entering freshman class of 5,300 students. And I'll talk to you about some of the challenges that created for us in a little bit. Our transfer enrollment increased by 7%, and our graduate enrollment overall increased by 8%, 10% growth of master's student population. So overall, we accepted the largest entering class that we've ever seen. And at 39,300, we're within a stone's throw of 40,000 to target that we thought we'd achieve here in the next few years. Retention and our 4- and 6-year graduation rates have also made giant changes. Our first-year retention, a number commonly measured around the country as one of the indicators of school quality, is pushing our FY22 numbers for 3 years from now, at about 79.25%. So if we'd saved, according to Jason, if we'd saved 30 more students, we would have hit 80% first-year retention. Jason, go find those students and get them enrolled, please. This number really puts us in the ranks of the best publics in the country, and yet we believe we have room to run still. Our 4-year graduation rate, and here's one of the biggest stories of the year, increased 4.25% to hit our FY22 goal, within rounding error. Our FY22 goal was 40%. We hit 39.99%. So this is a phenomenal number, and it's another number that people use on a national basis to understand the quality of an institution. Our 6-year graduation rate also improved to about 57.5%, our goal at 60%. We're closing in on goals by helping our students to succeed. Last year, we had a huge push around retention. It was the top initiative, and I believe you'll remember me saying, we go the extra distance to help our students succeed. And so what I have to say to everybody here who helped to contribute that, whether you gave a scholarship, whether you helped a student with financial aid, whether you were in class and you reached out to that one student who was stumbling a little bit, you really made a big difference. And it shows the power of what a caring community can do. So congratulations to you. I owe huge thanks to what you've all done to move those numbers and to help us be a better university. Now, we didn't just grow in size. We also grew in quality. Our entering student characteristics improved this year, and we welcomed 32 new National Merit Scholars for a total now of 93. Remember, the first year I was here, there were 4. And so we've come a long way as establishing ourselves as a top quality first choice institution. And last year we decided we'd talk about who we were, what our identity was. And we came up with 3 words that resonated with our entire community. And you've heard me use these words before. We're creative. I think there's no question we're one of the most creative schools in the country, certainly in Texas. We care. This is the word that strikes at all of our heart chords. I don't know a faculty member or staff member who didn't say, yeah, that's us. And that caring attribute is something that you just can't replicate, and I haven't seen anywhere else I've ever been. And finally, we have resilience. Not only as an institution are we resilient, able to get up from some of the tough times we had when I first got here, but we are resilient in our student population. You know, we're training a first-generation population. Some of these students don't even know that they can go to school, and they're afraid of failure. Well, what we're doing is we're trying to teach them that it's okay. They can come here. They can make it. And that if they fail, they get back up on their feet, they dust themselves off, and they try again, and we're here to help. So how do we take creative, caring, and resilient and weave them in to the reason we're here, our mission and our vision for the university? And so we went out and we listened and we edited, and we had about a long paragraph mission, and it looked like everybody had something to add to it. And we said, that's too much. Let's get it down to a sentence that we can all work on and celebrate. And so here's our mission. At the University of North Texas, our caring and creative community empowers students to thrive in a rapidly changing world. And the more we put this phrase out after many people contributed, the more it seems to resonate. It's what we do and it's who we are. And our vision is that we will become globally known for collaborative and imaginative educational innovation and scholarly activity that benefits the world around us and transforms our students. So we now ask a simple question. After a banner year of achievement, what do we do next? Where are we going? And so we went out and we listened to 56 academic departments and every single staff unit on campus. Everyone who cared to had the opportunity to contribute. And we asked them some simple questions. What do you do really well? What are you most proud of about this university? And what can we do better, and how can we serve our students as we go forward? And we took the comments that were given to us and we turned them into a very straightforward strategic plan that will map our course for the next 5 years. We said student empowerment is the most important thing that we do, encouraging their success. But we can't do that unless we build better people and processes, unless our culture and our culture of collaboration and our teamwork improves. And finally, we need to continue our growth as a scholarly and research institution and build our reputation so that we can transmit that to our students so that they in turn will grow and do better. So, while we have these 3 planks to the strategic planning platform, we also recognized one other thing. In an age where universities are being asked to change more rapidly than ever, where there's a lot of pressure on public institutions to do better with less, we can't get to where we need to go without building a culture of collaboration. And I'll say it starts from caring, but now it becomes a discipline, where we learn how to work together and work with our system colleagues to really move ourselves up. So let's now turn our attention to scholarly activity and innovation. And as I present this, you're going to see some goals, a few initiatives that attach to the goals, not all of them because there's way too many. And then you're going to see some metrics that we use. The metrics that we're going to use in some cases are the same metrics that you've seen before. What are your research output? How many students did you graduate? Commonly used metrics to measure university progress. Some of them are harder than that. They embody soft measurements around students, their well-being, their mental health, how engaged they are. Those I'm going to call formative. Over the year, we're going to gather up the tools that we have and figure out ways in which we can develop qualitative and quantitative indices of how we're moving. So, for scholarly activity, we will support, communicate, and celebrate a dedicated culture of scholarly activity at UNT to expand our impact on our students and the world around us. 2 major initiatives. The first is using the Carnegie ranking system and what we know about the variables that drive academic reputation. How are we going to move up? If we use those as a guide, we will move into the top ranks of institutions on a national level. And the second is how do we strengthen our basic research and scholarly output and our innovative frame. So let's take a look at a couple of these and look at the metrics that we're going to use in order to measure ourselves. This year, as I said, we are measuring our total research expenditures. This is inside baseball. We're using something called the NSF Herd measurement, right, Rosemary? She's chuckling because we're debating this. The NSF Herd measurement's a nationally normed measurement that is used by places like U.S. News and World Report and the Carnegie system to understand how well you're doing in terms of research expenditures. We want to move it from 75 to about 100 million. We're going to improve our scholarly activity, and of course, doctoral students turn out to be critical to our success in the Carnegie ranking system, and we're going to continue to move towards graduating 300 or 300 plus students a year over the next few years. So, I would like now to say there's a brief video narrated by our provost, Jennifer Cowley. She's done some good work in this area that describes what it really means to be a Tier 1 institution and how our move up the mountain has occurred over the past few years.
UNT is nationally and internationally recognized for its scholarship in many fields, from fine arts to technology, humanities to life sciences, music to entrepreneurship. And in 2015, we obtained the elite designation of a Tier 1 research university as categorized by the Carnegie classification of institutions of higher education. Tier 1 and R1 are often used interchangeably to describe the most research-intensive universities in the United States. Only 131 universities, or 3% of the nation's colleges and universities, hold this designation. Tier 1 is simply a classification that reflects who we are and what we do, and it significantly raises our external visibility. For example, the Carnegie classification is the basis for U.S. News and World Report rankings. We're classified by U.S. News as a national university because of our R1 ranking. It matters from a recruiting perspective, enabling us to recruit more faculty and graduate students from other R1 universities, while also increasing our success rate for grant proposals and prestigious faculty awards. Our path to R1 has been a steep climb. We moved from R3 to R1 in 25 years, a Herculean jump made by only 9 universities nationally. We're part of a select group of institutions that have had a focused strategy to become a major research university. So how did we become R1? We achieved R1 by remaining true to our identity as the most creative university in Texas and by caring deeply about our mission to serve a diverse student population. It's the diversity of our doctoral programs and strengths in non-STEM research expenditures that most contributed to our becoming an R1 university. Our historic reputational strengths help us shine. As just one example, we're ranked number 39 among R1 universities for the number of humanities doctoral graduates. This includes our doctoral graduates in English, history, music, and philosophy. Our path to Tier 1 started with a vision. Robert Toulouse, a longtime dean of the graduate school and provost, brought forward a vision to transform from a regional comprehensive teaching-focused university to become a national research university. By the 1980s, we had invested significantly in graduate programs and began increasing graduate admission standards. As a result, we became the 3rd largest graduate school in Texas. That significant investment in graduate education allowed us by 1987 to be designated as an R3, what today is known as a doctoral level university. What Toulouse recognized is that our path forward needed to focus on rounding out our portfolio of graduate programs to become more comprehensive, adding doctorates in science and health fields. Our student population boomed in the 1990s and supported the creation of new tenure-track positions. And in 2000, we moved from R3 to R2, a significant step forward. The 2000s were when we began to see our momentum really build as we added 5 new doctoral programs. We acquired Discovery Park, which enabled us to begin adding engineering programs and faculty. And it was also in the 2000s that the Texas legislature stepped up and began investing more in research support. Texas designated 7 emerging research universities, and UNT was in this elite group targeted for investment. Our measured, consistent growth in research activity led to 2015, when we were officially designated an R1 university, just 15 years after our designation as R2. And we're continuing our forward momentum. Under President Smatras' leadership, we've invested in 100 new doctoral lines, increased salaries for graduate students, launched 4 research institutes, and worked with the state to achieve $10 million in funding for the Center for Agile and Adaptive Additive Manufacturing. Imagine how far we can continue to climb with a focused strategy to advance our research standing. UNT has a committed and accomplished faculty and staff. Our students are eager to learn and make an impact on the world around us. We have the benefit of being a well-supported university, and Texas is investing in research universities. We are on the rise, and it's incredibly exciting to be here at this time. Imagine what we can do together.
I hope now that you all have a little bit better idea of what it means to be an R1 institution. And I've heard some people go, well, you're not really an R1 institution. The answer is, yes, we are. And we're a darn good R1 institution. And we're going to keep moving up. But we're going to do it our way. So let's talk about how that might continue. First, again, just to reiterate what Jennifer said in this slideshow, not only does R1 influence our rankings in places like U.S. News Report, but it also is critical for recruiting the best faculty and the best students. That's why we have 32 new national merits this year. R1 matters. So we can't be content to sit on the boundaries of R1 having just gotten in. We need to keep hiking up the mountain. Let's see if I can make the laser pointer work. I'm going to explain this graph because it's a little bit on the steep side. First, you see a whole bunch of purple dots right here, or at least you should be able to. The purple dots represent, each one of these dots represents an institution in the R2 category. That's where we came from. Our progress from down here in R3 through the years took us through each of what you might call the mountain base camps up to the edge of the R1 category. The red dots are the fourth quartile, gray dots third, orange second, and the blue dots are the top, the first quartile of the R1 institutions. By the way, fun fact, of the 9 institutions that have moved from R3 to R1 in the last 25 years, I've been at 3 of them. Not sure what that means, but it's good news for all of us. Okay, so you see some green dots here. And these green dots represent some of the discrete changes that we've made to continue our climb from the fourth quartile, because when you first get there, you're in the bottom of the fourth quartile. That's the natural path of anything. How do we move up? Well, we're going to increase our research expenditures, which we've done through great programs like the Center for Adaptive, Agile, and Additive Manufacturing, and I'm going to give a big shout out to Representative Stuckey. Thank you and Pat Fallon so much for making sure that we receive that money. It's going to really move the needle for us. And as you heard, 2 years ago, we added 100 new doctoral lines. It's really funny. I was talking to our new VPR, and he goes, yeah, when I was at Utah, we made a really big R1 move. We added 10 lines. And I went, really? We added 100. Those 100 new lines are going to be what continues to propel us up in the ranks. And they're going to be lines across the university, lest people fear they're only going into one specific area. And finally, we have continued strengths in the social sciences and as what's called non-STEM research funding, and we have continued strength in doctoral production in the arts and humanities, the professions that allow us to propel our journey. So, in this first counting period, we were right on the edge. We were right on the edge. In the next counting period, we'll be somewhere in here. And by the subsequent year, we hope that we will be broaching the edge of the third quartile. And in 10 years, we plan on plunking ourselves right down in the middle of the R1 category. So you might ask, what's it look like when you get to that neighborhood? Here's what it looks like. Take a look at some of the institutions that we're going to be joining as we continue our climb. This is something I find very hopeful and exciting, and while I don't normally like to PR other institutions, I'll submit to you that we'll be in good company. Let's now take a look at what R1 Our Way means. You know, there's a great chase for science and engineering funding, and there's a lot of universities that actually produce more STEM research funding than we do who aren't R1 because they haven't balanced themselves out. And just because everybody's on a great chase for research dollars doesn't mean that has to be a path that we pursue. So as we move up, it doesn't mean we're going to become like everyone else. We're going to continue to excel as a comprehensive university, building strengths in the arts, humanities, social sciences, professional programs, and the STEM disciplines, and we will celebrate the creativity our campus is so well known for. So we're going to move up in R1 our way, and I think it's going to be a really exciting journey for us. Finally, there's a whole lot of other things that we have to do if we're going to continue to build research strengths. And many of them have to do with the fact that we're still not producing the kinds of research dollars that we should for a university of our size. So we're going to emphasize multi-investigator, multidisciplinary proposals. Multi-investigator proposals tend to be bigger, bring in more money, and really move the needle for us. We're going to work with other universities vigorously to gain access to large-scale national grants from federal funding agencies. We're going to really move on increasing our corporate research and our cooperation and collaboration. And you're going to hear me use the word corporate quite a bit through this talk. It's a hole in our portfolio, and the advantage is that working with the corporate world, we can solve real-world problems and push our students into better employment pathways once they understand how to move. One of the ways we need to improve is by providing more mentoring and support for our graduate students. And one of the ways we'll do that is through the acquisition of more endowed chairs. Endowed chairs are researchers that have absolutely impeccable credentials, that they're nationally and internationally known and respected. We believe that endowed chairs help us to recruit the best graduate students and transmit their knowledge to undergraduate populations about the cutting-edge research that they're doing. And thereby, the 6 endowed chairs that we'll be getting, for example, in the College of Business, will really change our reputation, will change the course for us in terms of graduate student production. One problem that we have, one weak link in the chain, is that we don't have enough built research space on our campus. Now, a couple years ago, we finished a renovation of our science research building. We have a second phase of that we're going to have to figure out how to finish. And we also this year made extra space out at Discovery Park for our fastest growing research-oriented program, our biomedical engineering program. We added 27,000 square feet. And you know, while most people think, fine, you added some research and classroom space, I don't want you to think about it that way. Biomedical engineering is one of the hottest disciplines. Its work is offering incredible benefits to millions and millions of people. That space is an idea factory. That space will generate innovation that will grow our economy and support the world around us. Finally, when I first got here, can any of you guess how many licensing dollars we were producing? If the first and second numbers were 0, you'd be guessing about right. 2 years ago, we began to move up again. We generated $40,000 in licensing, and we were like, great. Last year, we generated $400,000 in licensing. We're moving, and we're moving yet faster, especially with our new incubation activities out at Inspire Park in the city of Frisco. So we're going to keep moving the great ideas that our faculty have and translate them into the public so that they can benefit the world around us. Now let's switch gears and talk about the second plank of our planning platform, changing our culture, people, and processes. You know, people say culture eats strategy for lunch. So if you're going to have a strategic plan, you better have a culture change plan to go along with it. And I'm blessed because I get to work with some of the most collaborative, caring people in the world. And I think that it's going to make it a lot easier for us to reach our goals. Our goal is to attract, develop, and celebrate a campus community to make UNT an outstanding environment to work and learn. We have a few things we're going to work on, and I'm going to peel the onion on some of these. We're going to work together to improve our processes, build customer service, and communicate our successes. We need to work on processes that improve our enrollment and our enrollment management experiences for our students, whether it's using a customer relations management system or whether it's creating a more seamless Amazon Prime kind of interface so that students can buy. Did you like that course? We'll add another one to the basket and we'll give you some reminders in the next few days. We need to make sure that we decrease time to graduation by continuing to work vigorously to improve the pathways, make courses available, and make sure, finally, that our students are retained and that we become a best place to work. Why do we want to be a best place to work? Because, as I've said many times before, universities aren't made of bricks and mortar, they're made of people. And when you keep the best people, you get the best results. So some metrics that go along with this are formative, because some of these things are a little bit trickier to measure, but we're going to measure a number of student success pathway indicators. We're going to keep pushing poor old David Wolf to raise more money in baseline funding. While we got 60 mil this year, I would like to see that we get crawling up to that baseline of 40 mil, and every once in a while you get a pop with a great big gift. So no sweat, David. I'd like to see that we continue to work. Yes, C-Dan, Don Potts, I see him back there. You can help in this process. Our UNT culture and faculty and staff engagement needs to continue to improve. We're measuring that with our Gallup scores right now, and we're doing a lot to build our culture. One of the big things here is that we need to learn how to limit the increases in student debt. This is a national issue, and we're dedicated to making sure that our students can graduate in a timely fashion and limit their debt. And this, I think, is going to be a growing concern on a national level. So, there's a million action steps. I'm going to just touch some of the high points. We're committed to working better with our system to improve our efficiency and effectiveness and to cut costs in the delivery of our services. We're going to collaborate with each other to eliminate something unaffectionately referred to as the UNT runaround. We're going to streamline our operations and communications and make sure that we're not just providing great experience for our students, but we're providing great experiences for each other. We're going to expand our mentoring and professional development and build teams. We are, after all, a team of teams, and we need to learn how to work that way and to coordinate our activities so that we can work seamlessly across the silos that often hamstring our efforts to improve. We're going to improve the student user experience. I told you, create that Amazon Prime kind of experience. And we're going to make sure that we decrease time to graduation. I want to highlight one of the innovative programs. I'm going to give Bob Brown a little credit here. It's called Save and Soar. Clever name. Oh, not Bob. Joey Saxon. Thank you, Joey. The Save and Soar program says if you pay a certain sum, you get deeply discounted winter and summer semesters. And if you utilize those winter and summer semesters, you can graduate in 3 years. So you get discounts off of your normal tuition rates, and you graduate faster. And a lot of the expense of college education isn't just your tuition and fees. A lot of the expense is living expenses, driving, having a residence, eating. So we believe that as we get students to graduate faster and faster, we'll be able to help limit their debt. You know, our Mean Green family is really so good at being caring. And the people and process plank in the strategic planning platform is where caring really shines through. If we care, how does that translate to what we do and how we treat each other and how we treat our students? And so I thought I'd show you a video that talks a little bit about how some of our students, our faculty and our staff and administration care for our students, and whether it's move-in day with everyone getting sweaty, helping students move up to their residence hall rooms, or whether it's the first day of class with hundreds of our faculty and staff wearing Ask Me shirts. And what is it, Bob? Extreme friendliness shirts to help our students find their way to class and kind of de-stress them a little along the way. Let's take a look at what some of our faculty and staff say about how they care.
We care by assisting faculty and staff with the development of robust 21st century online courses that promote high levels of student engagement.
We care.
We care by taking time for our students whenever they need us, and by providing them the skills they need to thrive in our ever-changing world.
We care.
We care by building partnerships with local corporations to engage our students and enhance learning experiences.
We care by using fresh natural ingredients to prepare nearly 5 million meals annually.
We care by helping UNT's 350 student athletes thrive on the field and in the classroom.
We care by making campus a beautiful place to learn, work, and play.
We care by promoting the university's image and telling its stories.
We care by working with students to make their payment arrangements so that financial issues do not get in the way of their education.
We care by opening the UNT food pantry so that no student goes hungry due to food insecurity.
We care.
We care by mentoring first-generation freshmen and helping them find their place at UNT.
We care by helping faculty and staff select the right benefit options for their families.
We care by helping more than 1,000 students receive accommodations and resources that lead to success.
We care by supporting UNT family members of all genders and sexualities.
We care by using community policing to keep our campus safe.
We care by working together to reimagine campus spaces for the UNT community.
We care by facilitating faculty efforts to earn and secure new grants that fund amazing research, innovative instruction, and impact communities.
We care by helping students apply for scholarships and financial aid that can reduce the cost of college.
We care by welcoming visitors to campus with a smile.
We care by sponsoring UNT's 400 student organizations.
We care by creating a sense of family and community in our department.
We care by showing donors the transformational power of their gifts.
We care by listening to and affirming each member of the UNT family's identity-based perspectives so that everyone feels included.
All right, it's really heartwarming to me to see the community come out and show how they care. And I think that over the past few years, we've seen it time and again, where someone has a simple idea that can really change how a student interacts with our campus and can engage them more deeply. And this is something that we encourage. We encourage people to contribute to making us a better place through caring. Thank all of you who care so much. Now, that's worth applauding for. Now let's talk about a unique take on campus master planning. You know, campus master planning is normally someone gets an aerial photograph and a bunch of consultants come in and they tell you how to move traffic around and how to plan for growth and how to plunk a couple more buildings down on those squares in the map where there isn't anything yet or knock something down. Right, Bob? Yeah. That's not very exciting. That's not what we want to do. Campus master planning should embrace our identity, should embrace what we're trying to achieve for our students and how we're going to engage them on our campus, and should also look at the amazingly disruptive forces that are influencing higher education now. Whether it's online education, artificial intelligence, how you build a campus that can house students and move them along more quickly and make sure that they stay here. We have a number of challenges that we face. So this year, instead of using it like it's a map game, we're going to have a very serious effort around campus master planning where we envision what the campus of 2050 looks like, and maybe beyond. And it's going to engage many of the stakeholders here on our campus. We're going to have a serious conversation about how we grow, what we do, how we serve our students, what kinds of technology will influence them, and how, most importantly, we can ensure their success. And so I'm very excited about this project. And I'm going to give you one example of how we have to think in a very connected way, a networked way around campus master planning. This year, we opened up Joe Green Hall, 550 new beds. I know that we all sat there chewing our fingernails going, I wonder if we can fill those beds. I wonder if we're going to make it. Not only did we fill them with 15% more freshmen, we actually had to turn sophomores away. Now, that's not an ideal circumstance, but are we going to become a more residential campus? How will online education influence what we're doing? How do we accommodate the needs of students who want to be housed on campus? And if we do house them, how do we do some relatively basic things like feed them? So we have to take a really good look at things like dining services. And is it just an old-fashioned dining hall? You know, you walk down the cafeteria line and someone plops something down on your plate? Well, that's not us. We are, after all, ranked by Delish.com as the second best food in the country, and it escapes me why we're not first best. Once we build this facility, we're going straight to the top. This is a facility that's the new dining hall that's right across from our Welcome Center. How many of you have seen the Welcome Center? Yeah, if you haven't, I urge you to take a moment today to go by the Welcome Center and visit it. It is clearly the most beautiful building on campus and a wonderful way to welcome students by showing them our mean green pride. Right across the street, we're going to put this facility up. It's under construction right now. It's a new dining hall modeled after Legacy Hall in Plano, which is a very kind of avant-garde food opportunity. And what is it for? It's an opportunity for students not just to get good food, but to engage, to network, to study, to meet, to interact. And so how do you plan campus spaces as you go forward? What are the important elements? And this is certainly one of the ways we have to think about how we engage our students. Now, we also are master planning our campus in Frisco. A lot of that has been done in terms of basic layout, but the process is still continuing with our great partners from Frisco. This is a conceptual artist rendering of the new nature center that we hope we can partner with Frisco on to build and operate. And in the distance, you can see the first building and a Hurley Hall bell tower that will evoke the connection of that campus to our campus. People in Frisco wanted to know it was a campus. They wanted a traditional feel. That doesn't mean the education is going to be traditional. So how we build and accommodate corporate partnerships, how we engage the region around us is going to be very important. These are the kinds of master planning issues that we really need to embrace as we move forward so that we spend our money in a way that has the maximum impact for our students. And as we talk about corporations and corporate partnerships, we have a growing constellation of partners, and you can see some of them here. And by the way, I'm glad to welcome some of our partners from the PGA, from the Cowboys, from Cisco, from Toyota, and other places. This is not a complete list, by the way. It's the ones that conveniently fit on the screen so that you could see them. We're going to continue to grow our corporate partnerships because they help to inform our education, they help to provide opportunities for our students, and they provide opportunities for our researchers and the people who are trying to move forward in each of these organizations to do a better job. Let's take an example right now, and I want to focus on one specific activity, but it's a broad one. About a year ago, folks from Cisco who are sitting in the audience, thanks guys, came out and they said, you know, we're kind of an outreach component of Cisco that works with nonprofits, governmental entities, and universities to help them solve some of their problems and work more effectively. This is a little bit similar to what the Toyota Production System did, but maybe with a broader scope of activity. They went and interviewed somewhere between 40 and 50 stakeholders over the course of the past year. And they said, we said, what are you going to do? What should we do together? And we tossed out a bunch of ideas. And the idea that resonated was that we would begin to try to create a sustainable student success ecosystem that built pathways that continued to improve how our students engaged on our campus and did over a period of years. What they generated in response was a comprehensive outline of a plan that we're going to execute. So our student success priorities, they said, should break down into 4 major categories. And while they're a little bit tricky to see, the first is that we need a digital strategy that enhances the customer experience. You've heard me talk about this. We need to make sure that it's easy for students to use technology to gain access to what they need, whether they're coming to our campus, registering for classes, paying bills, or being engaged in their classes. Secondly, it's time for higher ed big data. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this shortly, but we need to make data-informed decisions, and those decisions collectively will help us to embrace a better student experience in which we improve the academic, intellectual, social, and emotional development of our students. And that may sound funny to you, but we know from a great deal of research that the better we do this, the greater a student's chances of success will be when they leave us, and the better sense of well-being that they will have throughout their life. So we're not here just to graduate them. We're here to make sure that they have a great life journey. Finally, it's going to take everybody in the pool. Students, faculty, staff, and our alumni. Building networks that help to engage our students in meaningful activities and build connections for them so that when they graduate, they are part of a total ecosystem. Now, I was a little daunted when they presented this plan because they said, and all this takes is 26 solution initiatives. And I went, 26? Okay. Each one of those, by the way, breaks down into multiple parts. Like, create a sustainable, continued success model. Tell me how to do that. Anyhow, so what we did was we took a look at these 26 steps, and we said, this plan isn't going to happen in a year. This is going to roll out over the course of our entire planning project. It'll be about a 5-year project, and our student success roadmap has things we're going to work on this year and over the next 5 years. I'm not going to go through the steps with you, but what I'll say is this lays out in project management format. We can now track it and implement it, and when we're done, what should we have? A sustainable student success ecosystem that ensures great lifestyle and life cycles for our students so that they can be successful, not just here, but long after they graduate. I'm very excited about this. Now we're talking about students, so let's move on to the final plank of the planning platform and talk about how we're going to empower our students. Our goals will be to empower and transform our students in their educational and social environments to set them up for lifelong learning success. I think you heard me just say that. A number of things have to be done for us to do this well. First, we really have to develop innovative programming to make sure that the skills that our students are going to need through their life, the engagement that they have on their campus, and what corporations are telling us will make them successful in careers of the 21st century. We're going to have to expand our students' ability to believe they can. Think about this. We have a lot of first-generation students. They come here not sure if they can be successful. How do you instill a growth mindset and resilience in your student population and create for them then a sense of comfort and well-being during their experience? We also need to collaborate better, as I've said before, across all of our boundaries to work together to discover the weak links in our system so that we can make sure students are going to be successful. And of course, we're never going to take our eye off the ball of improving retention. Retention's a critical factor. If we don't retain them, we can't give them a chance to get out into the job market and help our economy as best they could. We have a number of metrics attached to this. I'm not going to belabor them. Of course, retention's important. One of the ones that I think is really critical here is how we track our students' career development and how we then backwards calibrate with the companies they're working for to make sure that we're doing a good job. And again, along in here and along in people and processes, we need to talk about how we limit student debt, because this is an important variable that contributes to non-retention in many of our students. Well, now I want to flip to another partner that we have, the Education Advisory Board. The Education Advisory Board has been using big data to try to improve student success for a long time. In fact, they've done this across the country. We didn't have the right kind of data sets when I first got here, but now with the insights data that we've generated, we're able to provide EAB with the big data they need to plug into their system to use predictive analytics to help us identify and remediate at-risk students, and to create a whole ecosystem of alumni, faculty, and students who can support each other, feed information back and forth to each other, and thereby create a greater level of awareness of when a student's heading for the cliff. So this is a big data effort in partnership with the Education Advisory Board that allows us to use predictive analytics to help our students to track their success, and it's probably going to be the biggest single initiative that we have this year. It's going to be a very broad-based thing. It'll influence student affairs, academic affairs, enrollment management, and most of the sectors across our campus. So I'm excited about this, and everywhere EAB has gone and they've worked with willing partners, the retention rates have risen dramatically. So rising from the high level that we are now will certainly put us in the ranks of elite public institutions on a national level. A number of other steps will be taken. We're going to expand internships and research experiences. I've talked about corporations. A corporation will take a student with a 1-point lower GPA if they've had an internship. Internships matter. We need to continually find more corporate partners to make sure our students can move out into the world and gain access to the best jobs. We're going to have to use workforce data and corporate intelligence to build new smart degree programs. Programs like Consumer Experience in Frisco, our big data analytics programs are booming because everybody needs access to better data to guide the progress of their companies. We're also going to develop what I call custom-built or build-to-suit degree programs. For example, a new program that we've just started won a contract from the Cinemark Corporation. And Cinemark said, we need a special blend for our employees. And if you do, we're going to push this program so that they take it. And under Adam Fine's leadership, we built a program that has business competencies and hospitality competencies broken into it to serve the over 3,000 employees of Cinemark who might still be able to advance now and get their college degrees in online programming. This and other types of activities, for example, we're the first to market with a BAAS degree with Coursera. Now, Coursera is one of the largest online providers in the world, and we've hitched our wagon to a star with this one. The BAAS degree is a completion degree for people who have accumulated a number of college credits and don't know what to do with them and can't quite graduate. In America, there are 34 million people who have checked out of college with a bunch of college credit and still need to make sure that they have a chance to move up. And I think this is also not just an innovative program that I think is going to garner national and international respect for us. I think more importantly, it's what you do when you care. What you do when people feel like they don't know where to go next. We're going to be offering alternatives that can make them stronger and better moving forward. We're going to also have to work hard as we become increasingly a minority-serving institution. We're already a minority-majority institution. We're on the cusp of becoming a Hispanic-serving institution. I'm still waiting for the data to roll in because it's a little more complex than just counting heads, but we have a growing Hispanic population. Well, if we're going to do that and get more and more first-generation students as well, we need to improve the cultural competence of our campus so that we're treating first-generation students and ethnic minorities with the kind of care and support that will help them in their path to academic success. And I've already mentioned to you that student mental health, a growing problem in the United States, and well-being is important, and that we need to encourage a resilient and growth mindset in our students to make sure that they're most successful. Now, finally, I want to move to one program that just tickles me. I'm just going to say right now, I'm getting a little verklempt here. I've tried at the University of Texas at Arlington. I tried at the University of Hawaii. I tried at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas to get a program like this put in place. And the cultural barriers were just so steep. And so when I got here, I said, we're going to do some innovative programming. I want to see courses taught in a cohorted fashion to our students, where we don't worry about the title of the course and you just check it off the list, where the title of the course combines to help the students gain those qualitative and quantitative skills that they need, the competencies that industries look for, and that we take this course and really create students who understand why they're learning, as opposed to taking courses that they don't figure out benefit them until 5 years later. How do you do that? So we started working on this because Frisco is also not just a great and dynamic business community, but Frisco is a test bed because it's new. This year, we welcomed 25 students to a new program. They are our Frisco founding freshmen. Say that 3 times fast. These 25 students are so darn excited about what they're going to be getting and the classes that they're going to take. And I am too. In fact, I'm so excited, I've even offered to go out there and teach, although they said they're not sure they need me. So what are the principles of this? First, this is a cohort-based approach. They take all their classes together for 2 years. Second, it's project-specific. It's about project design and analysis. So every single entering group and every single cohort will have a specific project. This year's is about mobility, autonomy, and the Drive AI project that is so important right now in Frisco. I mean, we all know that autonomous vehicles are going to be the path of the future. What does it mean to a city? How does a city grow and thrive when you take this into account? So this is the theme that connects everything that our students will do to learn together. They're going to learn not only those basic soft skills that all employers expect, but they're going to be getting some real applied coursework in project implementation, design thinking, operations research and analysis. And finally, they're going to get classes taught by executives and CEOs of the companies that they might one day go to work for. And every summer, they'll have an internship. So if they take an internship every summer in this cohorted program, they'll not only be more employable, they'll graduate in 3 years. This is a true degree in 3. This is innovative. Cut cost, get our students ready to take leadership positions in growing areas, and offer them something that will change their approach to education and our approach to education for years to come. Really excited about it, and I look forward to celebrating their many successes next year. Now, one thing I have to say, as we move away, because I can't just keep giving you all the tidbits, it'd take forever. As we move away from just the expose of what this plan entails and the action steps that we're going to follow, what you need to know is that today you've just seen the tip of the iceberg. This is a comprehensive plan. If we are disciplined and we work collaboratively and we work as a team, it's going to move our institution forward and promote student success. But I hope what you saw today is that this entire plan is in the service of our mission. Every single thing we talked about ultimately comes back to our students. So let's titrate what I just said against our mission statement one final time. At the University of North Texas, our caring and creative community empowers our students to thrive in a rapidly changing world. I hope you saw that in this plan today. I hope you felt that that was the case. So, at the end of the day, this plan will transform our students, but we're going to have to transform ourselves in order to transform our students. And that is going to take everybody contributing. So let's remind ourselves a little bit about what the student journey is like. Let's take a look in the next video at how our freshmen feel they're going to be changed and what they're hoping for from an education, and how some of our seniors and recent alum, how they feel they have been changed by the education that they received.
Well, I chose UNT because the School of Business here is very distinguished in the nation, and I wanted to get into the BS and MS program here. Because I'm an accounting major here at UNT, I would love to get a internship at KPMG and then become a partner eventually.
I want to be transformed into a more knowledgeable and well-spoken person, the person that everyone looks up to in class.
I hope UNT provides me with connections in the future, whether it be an internship or a job, especially around this area. I would like to become a physician's assistant, so I think having a degree in kinesiology from here will really hopefully set me apart.
I hope it gives me a good education to get a good career in my life, but I also wanted to improve my social skills. I want to ultimately have my own fashion business. So getting an internship would be something really cool.
I would like to, in the future, go into internships, so hopefully my internship can transform me when it comes to owning my own business.
Coming in as a freshman, I was super timid. I was very afraid of going into college since I'm a first-generation student, but I've had so many opportunities to increase my leadership skills. I'm much more confident in who I am as a person. I can speak about my identity to anybody and everybody with no hesitation.
Student government kind of opened up that avenue of not only can you lead, but you can lead in a way that's positive and that impacts other people positively on a large scale.
As a student for a university, I've been able to be in some spaces where other people are not as fortunate enough to be in, and I think now working for the Dallas Cowboys has kind of built me up as a man and also as a communicator.
UNT has transformed my career. I transitioned from engineer to senior engineer close to when I graduated from this master's degree program, and I think choosing to get that degree in advanced data analytics had a big impact there. Now I'm in the same department, but I lead automation and machine learning efforts on our team. So I basically automate a lot of what I did before and get a lot more chances to use machine learning algorithms and anomaly detection to detect large-scale network issues.
I've had some amazing professors. I had one professor freshman year, Amy Petros, who still talk to now. I actually got to help teach a course in her class last semester as part of the Graduate Student Excellence teaching program, which is in and of itself another example of just an amazing opportunity that graduate students are offered at UNT.
I've received many opportunities to get on the ground level on research opportunities. I started my freshman year in the microbiology phages lab, and that was a very good first experience, and from that it propelled me to apply for a National Science Foundation scholarship. I'm about to apply to get my PhD in neuroscience. I want to do research and I want to teach, and I feel that how well-rounded my education is in language studies and also in psychology and other things like that, that it will make me a better researcher and it will make me a better teacher for the next generation.
I never get tired of hearing from our students, and it's so funny. Yesterday I was shopping for some t-shirts to take to the Cal game, and I ran into Allison, not quite recognizing her. And she saw me and she goes, "You're a celebrity." And I went, No, you're the celebrity." And she goes, "You're just here shopping." And I went, "Well, yeah, I am." But I talked to her a little bit about our journey here, and she said she had some amazing professors, and by getting into research, it opened up doors for her that she never knew were closed. And as I talked further to her, I said, "Why are you going into neuroscience? You know, I did a little neuroscience in my time." And she goes, "Well, my mother has a neurodegenerative disease that I've inherited. And what I'd really love is to work on neurodegenerative diseases and help people who have these kinds of conditions." And so she's taken that caring and her research and her creativity, and she's going to thrive. I'm really impressed with our students and what character they develop as they leave this institution. Well, in the introductory video today, you heard some of the amazing success stories of our alumni, folks like Wendy Zumner, Dusty Jenkins, Brent Ryan. You know, most of these folks didn't come from really affluent backgrounds. They came from humble origins. They probably didn't know what they were going to do when they hit school, but with care, mentoring, and guidance, they transformed themselves into doing something amazing. Folks who achieve at the highest level. We see this story repeated over and over and over again at this institution, and it's the thing that makes me most proud. It's one thing to take super smart students and give them a pat on the back and congratulate them as they go on to do great things. It's another thing to take students who might not ever have a chance and make sure that they get the best chance possible to thrive in the world. I'd like to introduce to you one of our current students who has a kind of a similar success story, someone who's in the entrepreneurship program in the G. Brent Ryan College of Business, someone who was passed over a little bit by a number of universities, and he was worried whether he could pursue his dream and get the education that he needed the right way. This man's from a little town in Oklahoma, Peggs, Oklahoma. And, you know, UT saw something in him, a spark of greatness. And in his time here, he's shown himself to be a great student, a great leader, and a great athlete who's become nationally known. I'd like to welcome to the stage Mason Fine. How you doing, Mason? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Good, we got contact. Okay, Mason, what I'd love for you to do is show us some of that incredible form that you've developed as you set passing records in the NC2A by a really challenging activity. Can you toss some t-shirts out to the crowd? You toss those t-shirts, and I want to show you what these are. Mason, we made these for Mason. What this is Mason, who has a goal of becoming a great leader in the Cherokee community, spells the phrase UNT in Cherokee. And so for those of you lucky enough to get these, they're keepsakes you should remember forever. Keep going. Yeah, I get to embarrass myself now. Okay, way out back there, here we go. Oh, perfect spiral. Did you see that, Mason? Here we go. Oh, yeah. Make it look easy. Here's one more. Yep. Oh, hold it. Sorry, I blew it. Okay, deep, go deep. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to try to beat that one. Okay, that was really a lot of fun. But Mason, I have something serious to ask you. What's your time at UNT meant to you?
That's a good question. UNT has meant the world to me. This university has given me an opportunity to continue to chase my dream. And since arriving on campus, I've been surrounded with such great people and so many mentors that have educated me at how to be a better man. And I am truly honored to be a part of this Mean Green family.
And we're truly honored to have you. Thank you so much. Now, I know you have to get ready for the Cal game. We're going to be screaming loud, and we all want you to know that we're incredibly proud of you. We're incredibly proud of the team, and good luck tomorrow. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Go Mean Green.
All right, go Mean Green. Thanks, Mason. Well, as I've said a couple times, that's hard to top. I'll just get some more t-shirts and then we can all go. We had a breakout year, and working together, we've really moved UNT forward. And I'm really proud that we continue our ascent up the mountain of success. That success today, and I've got to repeat this, is due to all of you. It's due to the folks in the audience, our faculty, staff, students, administrators, and our community partners. You're amazing. And I am in awe of you, because I've never seen an institution gather together and move so fast and become so dynamic. And that is critical. So I'm honored to serve you, and I just think that working together, we can achieve anything that we want. Now, we can't sit on our laurels. We can't say things are fine right now. We're in this age of disruption. Universities across the country are being challenged to innovate, adapt, and change in ways that are really going to help us provide better futures, not just for our students, but for our whole regions and communities. And we have to do that with shrinking resources. The plan I outlined for you today is comprehensive and it's ambitious, and we're going to be tackling some tough issues. Issues a lot of other schools won't go after because they're hard to measure, they're hard to quantify, they take time and attention and culture change, and that's scary stuff. It's going to require our very best creative efforts. It won't be easy, and it will take total commitment from a very caring campus. But I know you. I know what you can do. And I believe we're up to the task. So let's not settle for being good. Let's be extraordinary and rise together to help our students thrive. Thanks for being part of our Mean Green family, and go Mean Green!